Hello. I don't know about y'all, but it is Friday in this room right now. I'm so glad for Friday this week. I don't have anything on my, within reason. I don't have anywhere I have to go on my work calendar this weekend. So I'm loving life right now. Hey, Laura, glad to see you here. And Cindy is here. I love it. Y'all are awesome. All right, Karen from Tulsa, and everyone else who's joining in. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, it's Friday, and it's the last Friday in August. I'm telling y'all, Christmas will be here before we know it. Whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm just saying. It is like time is just flying by. All right, so let's see. Who has watched The Thursday Murder Club on Netflix? I watched it yesterday. It was very cute. I loved it. Pierce Brosnan was awesome. They all are awesome actors. I got to tell you, there's something about some good acting makes all the difference. So yeah, it was really good. I highly recommend it if you haven't watched it. Donna, I'm winding Sunshine City. Oh, on Sparkly Sock right now. Very nice. Oh, Karen, you're watching it now. Very good. Also, I don't know if y'all saw my post, and I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with it. I don't remember making a big deal about it before, but there is a show called Fisk. Totally different. It's she's an Australian lawyer, and it's just it's one of those like sitcom shows, like is it even 30 minutes? And so every episode, the issues are all resolved within 30 minutes. Anyway, I just find it's a lighthearted, funny. I love her sense of humor. It's kind of dry, and yeah, and she always wears this awful brown suit. And anyway, but it's a great show. So if you haven't checked that out on Netflix, season 3 is already out. So, and I love it. I'm so glad that they're making more seasons. So Laura, you need to watch that this weekend, definitely. And I don't know if you've seen a trailer for The Roses. I think it's just called The Roses. It's in the movie theaters. I told Bo I want to go see that this weekend. And when it's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it, and then Olivia Colman, she is such a good actress. I love her. And yeah, so we're going to go see that this weekend. I suspected when I saw it and given the name The Roses that it was a remake of War of the Roses. Do y'all remember that movie? Oh my gosh. That was hysterical. Anyway, and it's a remake of it. So Bo reminded me that I won't tell you how that ended because you may not have seen it. You might want to go back and watch it. Anyway, The Roses looks like awesome and funny. So yeah, he's going to take me to see that this weekend. So I'm excited about that. All the things are out. Sometimes I struggle, I think just because I'm not aware of what all there is out there to watch. And so sometimes I'm like, what do I want to watch? When I do get a chance to sit down. So right now there's like a bunch of stuff that I have that I want to watch because I'm also watching, I don't know if y'all saw any of the discussion in the Swan City Stitchers of some of the cooking shows. The current one that Barbara Albritton recommended to me is The Lost Kitchen. Such a good show. So I'm busy binge watching that when I sit down and knit. So that's been good too. I'm afraid I'm almost out of episodes on that. Fortunately, I think she has another show where Amy French is the name of the main cook. And I think she travels around. So I'm excited to see that one too. Anyway, moving on. So last weekend was the Pittsburgh Knit and Crochet Creative Arts Festival. That's the long name. And then I tend to shorten it to the Pittsburgh Creative Arts Festival. So it was a great show. The drive was brutal, 2 days up, 2 days down. Bo drove every single mile. I remember the days when I used to have to do that. Now he does it. He's so awesome. And I tend to sleep. The second day on the drive home, I literally every hour I was like, okay, it's time for another nap. And I think I just slept most of the way home, which is common for me. I just get so tired, you know? So, but anyway, it was a great show. I did a live video. If you haven't seen it, it's under the live tab. We for some reason we tend to not download those onto the homepage. So it's on the live tab over on YouTube. If you want to check it out, I just kind of walked around and showed. Hey, Table 10 Podcast is on Instagram, and Rachel and Renee came by really quick. They were a little busy with a 4-year-old that came with them. I want to say it's Rachel's daughter, if I remember correctly. But anyway, they were busy doing the scavenger hunt. That was really cool. I don't think I've seen that at a festival yet. So they had this scavenger hunt in the program full of items that you could find at different booths. And it's really a great way to get people to check out all the booths, and then you as a vendor get to interact with people. So anyway, it was great meeting them for the first time. Love that. If you haven't checked out their podcast, you might want to do that. They are from the Pittsburgh area. So anyway, another thing, couple of fun things about that festival. So interesting things that happened. I got the largest number. I don't know if y'all care about this, but I did. I was like, that is the biggest number of special orders that I've ever come out of a festival with. Needless to say, this past week it's been very busy between that and the coordinating cousins pre-order. So yeah, I've been a little busy in the dye studio, which is a good thing. I'm always thankful for that. So I'll be shipping some of those special orders this weekend or today, this afternoon, and then also into early next week. So if you placed a special order, you can look for your shipping notice to be coming any day now. And let's see what else. I had an interesting conversation with an elderly lady. And you know, the vast majority of the people who come through are elderly, although here was something interesting. I saw more bistitual people at this festival than any other festival. Like, you know, you ask people, you knit, crochet, and sometimes you can tell by what they're wearing, but, you know, they might be wearing a crochet piece and also knit. I can't tell you, like the vast majority of everyone that came through said, oh, I do both. I just thought that was so awesome that, you know, so many people do both. So that was awesome. Okay, so the elderly lady who came in, we were talking about, I think she was asking if I had mohair. And so I was talking about the Surrey fluffy lace. You know, I ended up swapping that out just because I think it's a little more flexible and it's better in terms of, you know, for the people who find mohair a little bit itchy or hard to tink and, you know, all those things. I just thought Surrey might be the better way to go. Anyway, she made a comment to me that quite frankly was one of those, it's a thinking thought. It's not a speaking thought. You don't need to say this, but she told me that I just don't care for your colors. I don't know if those were her exact words, which is fine because I didn't really care for her personality. But again, that's a thinking thought. That's not a speaking thought. I didn't tell her that. I think I was nice. We always need to be put in our place every now and then, don't we? But I also, I on the live, I showed a little Loopy's booth. Kayla is the owner of that. It's a yarn shop, and they have also books and coffee in their shop. It is in, I want to say it's Hershey, PA. And she came by. I went and introduced myself to her because Laura Blair had mentioned her to me, said that she was going to be there and I should seek her out. So I did and grabbed a picture with her. And then later on, she came to my booth. I think it was right after I had done the live with y'all. And we were talking about just different things because she dyes yarn too. So we were talking about different things about dyeing yarn. And one of the things that was really interesting that she and I both do is we I don't know if I've told you all this. So when I dye yarn, I tend to, kind of like with plants. Do y'all are any of y'all plant people and you're supposed to think positive thoughts about your plant, supposed to help them grow better? Well, I do that with my yarn. When I'm dyeing yarn, I tell them positive things, right? Because that's important. And she said that she does the same thing to her shop when she opens up her shop in the morning. She goes in and she's like, hello, shop. And she says positive things. And I think that's very important. It all, our words have energy, our thoughts have energy. I believe that. I've even had it kind of proven to me in a tangible way. I've seen it. And so I fully believe that. And so it was just cool to see her and for us to share something like that. So it was a great show. We had a great time. And yeah. So anyway, Bo's telling all my secrets, I see. Yeah, I can fall asleep on the way home from the store. If I'm not driving, you can't count on me. I did try to stay awake on, was that, okay, what day did we come home? So we started driving Sunday night, and I stayed awake while, until, because I think we drove until like 10:30, which is way past my bedtime, but I stayed awake. And then on Monday morning when we got up, I think it was already daylight. Was it already daylight when we left, honey? Anyway, I know Bo has a harder time when it's dark out, so I tried to make sure that I stayed awake, but hey Karen from wet Scotland. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah. Although I don't know, sometimes wet is good. That's why y'all have such beautiful greenery and the scenery. Oh, just amazing. I think it's because of all the rain. Holy cow, Tish, 61 degrees. Yes, I'm jealous too, I tell you. Okay, Donna, that's why I could never do it. It was very tiring, that's for sure. And then let's see. I think I'm missing some of y'all's conversation. Sorry, I was busy yakking. Yeah, it was about 7. So it was daylight when we left. I'm gonna have to go back through and read y'all's comments. Oh, Cindy, your husband has been known to fall asleep at the table. Yeah, I've been known to curl up on a couch. And not my own. If I'm tired and ready to go and whoever I'm with isn't, I might just fall asleep on you. I'm just saying. All right. What else is going on? I've got lots to tell y'all. Let me show you. I think I told y'all about the booth that was right across from us, and I bought Morgan and I hair clips, but I've already started wearing mine, and I left it in the bathroom, so I don't have it to show you. Sorry about that, but I did show the booth in the live video that I did. I also bought from there, and I always like it when they have other vendors in Kentucky. There was the people across from us that had the wooden spoons and the brooms and stuff. So I love when they have related but somewhat different vendors, because I don't always get to go to other things. And even when we're at these festivals, I don't always get to go around the way that I would like. But it's really cool when they have other vendors there that aren't, because you're always going to find yarn. I mean, come on, hand-dyed yarn, more commercial, whatever you're looking for, you're going to find it. But there was Anna from Ren and Rita. She's from the Pittsburgh area as well. Lovely woman. Oh my goodness. She has a website. You might want to check her out. And she had a bunch of different things. I bought some wax melts for our little burner. Normally we always buy like pumpkin scents and fall scents, or something about fall. That's usually when I put it to use. And then Morgan is always like, it smells like Christmas in here. It's not Christmas. So I got this one, which is strawberry and smells delicious. Not like a synthetic smell or, overly perfumey, nothing like that. It's just good. It smells like true strawberries. And then she had some soaps, goat's milk soap, and I bought this one, which is ginger lime, and it smells heavenly. I can't wait to use it. That's, I don't like perfumey soaps, but these aren't. So I got 2 of the ginger lime, just so you know. So anyway, and Anna, she's a knitter. And in fact, she came over and bought some pomp and circumstance as well. So maybe we'll see what Anna is making out of her pomp and circumstance at some point. Hey, Liz, glad to see you here. And oh yeah. Yeah, Bo, poor Bo. He struggles. We keep trying to find what is the magic elixir to help Bo sleep, something that, is not like an over the counter like medication sort of thing. Hey Sharon, I'm glad to see you on here. Hello. Where are you at right now? You in New York? Trying to remember based on any posts that I've seen from you. I don't know where you are right now. So anyway, all right, what else? Is there anything else I wanted to tell you about the Pittsburgh show? I think that was it. Okay, so we have a new fiber challenge coming up. You may have seen the post. I forgot to put up the graphic or load the graphic here, so I can't show it to you, but it's in the newsletter and it's also in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. I went ahead and posted it. It is Scrappy September. So I'll just let you know here, because you don't have to actually be on social media. It's helpful, but technically you could, and I don't put this in the guidelines there because if you're not on social media, you're not going to read it anyway. But if you're not on social media and you want to participate, you can always email me pictures of what you're working on. Just know that if you email it to me, if you're using Swan City Yarns, then I'm going to probably post your picture on here and let people see it. So just know that. But so basically, I'll just give you a quick run through here if you haven't seen it. The idea is to knit with at least 3 colorways in a project. Technically, scrappy usually means that you're using leftover yarns, but I'm being flexible. You don't have to use. You can use new skeins, especially if you've got mini skeins and stuff like that, and you're just doing a project that uses 3 or more colors, then that's totally fine. So you can pull out old WIPs that you need to finish up. You can start new projects. You can use any brand of yarn fiber that you want. It'd be knit, crochet, whatever, spinning, weaving. As long as you're using 3 or more colorways, it's all good with me. And then just make sure that if you don't post your WIPs and FO pictures in that official thread, make sure you use the hashtag SCS September Challenge. That's basically the format that we're doing all this year. Next year, I'll probably change the hashtag just so that I don't get previous year's results when I do the search to pick the winner. So speaking of that, we have a winner for our August Fiber Challenge. I went through this morning and did a search and then did a random number generator. And the winner is, well, first of all, let me show you what they're winning. I did a post of this. So they're getting a set of 5 mini skeins because I thought, well, if September is all about scrappy projects, maybe it makes sense to give them some mini skeins and they do their own scrappy project. But obviously you don't have to. You do what you want. I was just, sometimes I'm like, I don't know what, I know I could just grab a skein of yarn off the wall, but it just seems kind of weird to do. I don't know. And sometimes I do. Sometimes I just grab miscellaneous skeins. But I thought, well, this one, since September is scrappy, I'll give them some mini skeins. So the winner of August is dun, 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 Lonnie Holt. Very nice. And I think it was one of her Hiss and Vinegar. I know I should remember. I just picked it this morning, but listen, my memory is not always my friend, but I'm pretty sure it was one of her Hiss and Vinegar picks that she posted. So anyway, congratulations, Lonnie. And at first I was like, I think Lonnie's won before, which you can win multiple times. But I went through my list of winners and I didn't see Lonnie's name as a winner from. So anyway, congratulations, Lonnie. You are the winner of that. And oh yeah, Laura, I take so much magnesium. You'd think I would float away on it, but no, I don't. Magnesium, I take calcium. What else do I do to help me sleep? Magnesium, calcium, those are the big ones for me. Yeah. And some people say you don't need calcium, but it's always been and yeah, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. So, Oh, interesting, Laura. Okay, yeah, send that to me if you don't mind. I know there's different, there are different forms. There's at least 5 different forms of magnesium. And I've done my research. There's so there's also calcium, but magnesium, what oxide, magnesium citrate. I forget what the other, those are the 2 main ones. And I'll be honest, some of them are better for helping you sleep. Some of them are better for helping with bowel movements. I'm just saying, there's all forms of magnesium out there for all your different needs. All right. So, all right. Speaking of projects, let's move on, shall we? You all have been posting. I love it when y'all post your projects because, for one thing, it helps me keep my knitting mojo, just so you know. Whether there was Swan City yarns or not, I love them all. So first up, y'all, look at this. Let me grab my paper. Hang on. I got to make sure. There are so many that I got to keep notes at this point. So this is Sue. Sue has been so busy. These are the Cherub Chunky Cabled Mitts. I love them. And she did them in the colorway Tulips in Bloom. And that's with the squishy, bulky colorway. And then not only that, she has been knitting up a storm. She finished her dyad beanie. I've shown this one before. That is with the Happy Days colorway. Do y'all remember that that was last month's Dying to Knit. And then with this month's Dying to Knit, Sue knit up this one, which is the chevron rib beanie. And I love this. And y'all, so this is it's called Picture It Miami because it's the Golden Girls. That was the theme of this past month's Dying to Knit colorway. I love it because, so if you're in Dying to Knit and you want to know what your colorways are going to knit up like, well, here you go, because this is the most recent one. And then that one is Happy Days. I love it so much. Happy Days is it's not what I would think of when I think of Happy Days. But I decided not to do an over-the-top colorway. I decided to, go with a lighter colorway. Anyway, if you're in Dying to Knit, you know all that because we talked about that. All right. And then speaking of Lonnie and her Hiss and Vinegar, here it is. So let's see. She's using everything from Mad Matter, Hog Wild, Turning a New Leaf. This is a mystery knit along, by the way, if you're curious about it. Casapinka does a lot of those. And of course, she always has lots of texture, lots of different stitch patterns, all the things. So this is Lonnie's. I think that's the most recent picture that I could find. And then Anne, this is the most recent picture of her Hiss and Vinegar. I love it. 2 different color schemes, but both equally gorgeous. And Anne is using, let's see, there's Burnt Butter, Tickle My Fancy, Till We Meet Again. I don't remember if is that it for that one? It might be. And then Anne is also making great progress on her Extra Light Bright, which, if you're familiar with the pattern, is they show a lot of samples with a fade, but she is using all pomp and circumstance on sparkly sock, which I love. I cannot wait to see the finished project there because I know it's going to be awesome. All right. Oops. Come on. Next one. Tammy posted her socks. These that she did, the main color there is 2 birds and a bunny. And you can see where the speckling was obviously a lot different through various parts of the skein. How cool is that? I hope you like it, Tammy. I hope that's a good thing and not a bad thing. I personally, y'all know my love for sister socks rather than twinsies. So so of course I love it. And then Gwen, oh my gosh, this is the Bamboo Tank. And she did a special order of Lollipop C on Trusty DK. And I don't, sometimes you'll see a project and you're like, it's like that color was made for that particular project. I love it so much. And that is not even her most recent picture. Here is the most recent picture. How awesome is that? So she's finished one side, the back, and now she has cast on for the front. And she's right. it is a super quick knit, but she's also obviously knitting up a storm, and I love it so much because it makes me want to knit. All right, Linda is back at it. Busy, busy Linda, I tell you. So this is okay. So this one, she said that the main colors from her stash, but the cuff and the toes are using double Dutch, and she mixed up two different patterns. She chose the cuff. I don't know how well you can see it here, but the cuff is actually from Summer Lee's August Cuff Club, which is awesome. It looks cool. It's not your typical ribbed cuff. And then the body of it, she used Kayla Litton's Vanilla Bean sock pattern. In other words, Crazy Sock Lady. So I love that when y'all mix patterns. And then we know Linda loves her socks. She's also using Cordially Yours Santa. This was the first picture she posted. And then let me show you the second picture. Dun, dun, dun. This is the heel toe do-si-do pattern, also by the Crazy Sock Lady. And this is such an awesome pattern. I haven't knit it, but I do use it as an example of a good colorway for wildly variegated skeins. If you are a sock knitter, then this stitch pattern will hold up to that. And so she's doing the self-striping here with it, but that's such a great pattern. So I love that she is showcasing it for us. All right. And then Carol did the Astro Pop. I was curious if any of the Swans did the Astro Pop knit along this year. This is something I might be getting my details wrong, but Marie Green does this. I don't know for how many years now, but I know over like the July 4th weekend, she tries to knit a sweater, which to me is just overwhelming in itself, but but the pattern is gorgeous. And so she used Tin Cup Chalice, Flower Power, and From the Ashes. I want to say From the Ashes was a Virgin River colorway. Does that sound right? I think it, so that was a while ago, but I absolutely love it here. What a great color combination, Carol. It's amazing. All right. And then Katrin, last but not least, is doing the boomerangle. I love this. Talk about texture that we were doing for August. This pattern has so much visual texture. She says it's easy, but you can see it has a dramatic effect. It does indeed. It is just awesome. So very nicely done. All right. Thank you all, like I said, for posting those, because I know, speaking for myself, when I see y'all posting and finishing up those projects left and right, I'm just like, oh, where's my knitting? Give me my knitting. I need to be sitting and knitting, which by golly, I will be doing this weekend, just so you know. Hey, Anne, speaking of Anne, better late than never for sure. Glycinate, that's one of them, Karen. You're so right. Oh, glycinate is the best for sleep. Okay. Yes, I do know that citrate is good for constipation. That's all we'll say about that. And oh, Deb just back from brunch. Oh, she's one of the ladies who lunch. I love it. And let's see. Yes, glycinate is what Bo takes, that's for sure. Hey, Everdina, I love it. And let's see. Yes, Sydney is Bo, Donna. He's the executive producer around here. Did y'all know that Bo is not even like his middle name? It's just a nickname that his dad came up with out of nowhere. I don't remember. Was it after a baseball player, dear? You'll have to tell him. His dad gave it to him and it stuck. We all call him Bo. And it's just B-O. It's not B-A-B-E-A-U. It's just B-O. Bo. All right. So speaking of Bo, I finished Bo's socks, y'all. The Interstellar. Now, this is a shorty pattern. It's called Interstellar Shorties by Pam Goodchild. Y'all know we did a knit along And it's just an awesome pattern. I showed these off at Pittsburgh, and so many people were like, "Oh, I love those socks," and they're just great. So y'all know I did confetti was the main color. It looks like the accent, but it's actually the main color. And then pomp and circumstance was the contrast color. Y'all look at it. I'm so disappointed. They're twinsies. But that was what Bo wanted. So he got them. And yeah, so I think they're officially, I don't know that I'll be dyeing up more confetti. So I think official, at least, I mean, not right now. So I think I'll officially give them to Bo. It's kind of like, if I knit something for him, does he actually get to wear it or does he have to wait a while? Sometimes he has to wait a while because I need it as a sample. So, um, yeah, so I finished them and I think they look pretty good, actually. I'm well pleased. I did the shadow wrap heel, and which is my new favorite heel, as y'all know. And I just because I didn't even have to go in, and normally with my German short row heels, I have to go in and make um, weave in the ends and stuff like that for to make sure that there's no holes. I didn't have to do that at all. So, and they fit him good. I did not. A couple people asked me, "Did you go up a needle size for the color work?" I didn't. I did have Bo after. I don't remember. I think I was past the heel on the first one, and I kind of had him try them on because sometimes with color work, if your tension is off or something, it can get too tight. And I have a pair of socks that I knit for him with. They've got Christmas trees on them. The Odenin Boom socks. And he couldn't get them on because my tension was too tight on the contrast color. And so now they're my socks. Was that on purpose? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't on purpose. But yeah, so then they're a little big for my feet, but I can wear them around the house. Anyway, so I had him try them on to make sure that my tension was good. I'm trying to be very mindful of that because I don't like having to go up a needle size and down. It's like, yeah, I just want to sit and knit. I don't need to be messing around. The less I have to mess around with needles and such and everything else, the better. So I did not go up a needle size, but they still fit him well. I used a size 1. That's always what I do. I pretty much, if I knit socks for you, I figure out what the formula is using a size 1 so that I don't have to worry about, using different size needles for fingering weight yarn anyway. So anyway, that's that. These are done and Bo will get to wear them. All right. I really thought I was going to be done with my Stockholm slipover. I really did because I have been knitting like crazy on this thing. Look. And so I'm using the helical method to alternate between the 2 skeins on Fluffy DK. So by the way, if you're curious, this is what Fluffy DK looks like in terms of its halo. It's almost a little bit like a thick and thin yarn, I think. I feel like the halo on Fluffy Lace is a little more consistent, whereas this, whoops, hello, the inside of my cake fell out. Sorry, I probably messed up with the microphone when I did that. That was interesting. Let's see, what's going on here? You, good sir, are a mess. I'm going to have to, what have I done? Okay. Sorry. Don't mind me, just fixing my cake here. Anyway, so yes, because of that, I think I've been knitting a little bit slower on this and, really watching my stitches because if I drop a stitch on this, you all see how when this with Fluffy Lace, that halo really fills in, your stitches. So if you drop a stitch, it's very difficult to see until, later, like 6 weeks after it's done and you're looking at your project and you're like, I think that's a drop stitch. So anyway, yeah. I should probably count my stitches to make sure that I still have the same number of stitches, but I haven't done that. So I only have like a couple more inches to go, and then I'll do the hem down here, and then I'll have to do the whatever this is on the ribbing on the edges, and then the neck as well. So, but I like it. I love it. I think alternating the skeins is good for it. There's not any unsightly pooling or anything like that. Not that it would be unsightly necessarily. It's definitely not the look that I'm going for with this project. So, yeah, so I'm excited to have that done because there's so many other things that I want to work on. I need to finish my stripe step socks. So actually, now that these are done, I will do that. And then I want to knit. I told Bo I was going to knit Kayla a pair of socks in the garnet and gold colorway. Kayla's my stepdaughter, and she went to FSU. And so I'm going to knit her a pair of socks that I want to give to her at Thanksgiving. And then I'm also going to knit a hat for her boyfriend, David. He picked out way back in March at Nash Yarn Fest. He picked out a skein of executive producer and wants me to knit him a beanie, which shouldn't take long. He chose fingering because I let him see the difference between, because he has a beanie that he likes and he wanted something similar to it because he wears it. He has a bald head and he wears it close to his, unlike Bo, who likes as slouchy as possible. No, David wants a close fitting beanie. But the one that he has is a very chunky knit. So I let him see. I said, do you want it like a chunky knit or do you want the much thinner? And he picked the fingering weight. So, but still, it shouldn't take long because I measured his current hat that he likes to wear. It was 8 inches from top to bottom. So I'm hoping I need to, but you know how I am with gift knitting. I'll start it and before I know it, my time is up. And it's like, I've been knitting on this. Like, what happened to the time? So even though I have all of September, all of October, and most of November in order, before I need to give it to them, I cannot be stressed when I'm knitting. It will ruin it. So I'm going to go ahead and start on their projects next. I'll probably start, since I have the stripe step socks to work on. That's my sock project. Always got to have a sock project. So I'll probably cast on his hat next. And it was between 2 patterns. I think there's one from Tin Can Knits. I need to look back at them and decide remember which one I decided to give him or make for him. So I'll pick that out at some point. I was laughing earlier at Donna, Yarn Barf Alert. Yeah, that's right. I get that a lot. All right, Tish, that's right. Labor Day. Is that this coming week already? It is, isn't it? Labor Day weekend. That's right. So no shipping on Monday. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Tish. I appreciate that. And good luck with the plumber. All right. So yes, Laura, you would know. Definitely a thick and thin. By the way, Laura, your not as if, what is the name of the sweater that you gave me? I knit the rocket tee, but it's not a tee. The rocket, what's it called now? Rocket, is it it's the DK version. Anyway, my sample of that, people were very interested in that sweater. So in fact, one lady said she's making it. And then I was like, I might have to knit another sample of this since Laura's going to get hers back. So that might end up being my Nani Swimo sweater. I don't know. Which, speaking of, I know it's still August, but y'all, Nani Swimo is coming November. So be thinking about what sweater you might want to knit or crochet, either or. And so just Rocket DK. Okay, thank you. Yeah. So anyway, I was like, oh, maybe that'll be my Nani Swimo. I have so many things I want to knit. I want to knit a Halloween shirt. So like orange and black, which we're going to talk about in a minute. And I also want to do a Christmas themed one. I showed you all that sweater that Penny wore from Big Bang, and it had like chunks of black and red, but to me it said Christmas. And I think it was a Christmas episode, if I remember correctly. Yeah, because she's wearing a Christmas hat, Santa hat. Anyway, so I have so many things I want to make. I just need more time in my day. Okay. So I don't know if y'all saw, I think I put it in the newsletter last week, and then there was a post on Instagram, a reel, and Facebook So this colorway, if you're interested, this beauty is called Sunshine City. I dyed it up for a new yarn shop opening here in Central Florida, over in St. Pete, called the Common Thread. And it's showing a little red in on my monitors. Hopefully not. This is a nice bright pink colorway, and then yellow, and it fades. I'm not going to undo it, but in between, you've got the yellow fading into orange, and then a bright pink is how the skein looks, just so you know. If you're interested in this colorway, I happen to know Shannon sent me an email. She's ordering more, but they're out of the sparkly sock, and she only has a few skeins left of the trusty DK, but she is ordering more. She might even put it on pre-order. So when that happens, and when she gets it on the website, I'll let y'all know, and post a link in case you want to order some for yourself. All right. The other thing that is, I don't really have anything new in the shop. I showed you all pumpkin patch last 2 weeks ago, and it's now on pretty much all the bases. I really like it. I want it because I'm going to, at some point, once I get Kayla's socks done, maybe I should cast on her socks next, because as soon as I'm done with her socks, I want to knit these from Charlotte Stone called I'm Batty for Halloween. I love it. So I'm going to use pumpkin patch, probably on sparkly sock, and I'm going to combine it obviously with pomp and circumstance for the bats. So that's what I was picturing. And then this week when Morgan was putting up yarn on the walls, I love her eye. She sees colors differently than I do, and she puts it on the wall, I think, differently than I do. I tend to think of, let's see, this is what I would pair this with, because this is the project I want to do. And then I stick them beside each other. But she tends to think of it as like kind of a gradient, she said. Anyway, I happened to see this combo, pumpkin patch with Paint the Town Red. What a great fall vibe is that, for whether it's a cowl, color work, shawl, whatever. I think that's a great combo. And then I also happened to notice it somehow goes perfectly. I have one skein left of this on sparkly sock. It's called a mixed bag. And you see that orange in there? Look at that. Arr, it's gorgeous. Now, you have to remember that's not going to be a lot of contrast. So if you're pairing them together, the orange can get, in this skein, can get hidden. So it depends on, how you put them together. If you're doing like a chunk of color work, like color block, awesome. But if you're doing some sort of color work with these two, kind of in thin stripes right next to each other, this orange can get hidden because it so closely matches. So just something you have to pay attention to visually. We talked about that in my class too. So, yeah. All right, what else? Oh, somebody emailed me asking about Nightshade. I don't remember. Did I post this in the newsletter at all? This is a one-of-a-kind colorway that I came up with. I was actually, so for people who are in Dying to Knit, if you signed up for like January through September, there's an extra thing that you get at the end, which I'm currently working on dyeing up. Anyway, this was one of my original, I was playing around with color. It didn't quite come out the way I wanted it, so I turned it into a one-of-a-kind. But that is a green, and those speckles are a deep, dark purple. Someone emailed me and asking, is that black or purple? It does look kind of black, but it's a purple. So just thought y'all might want to know. It's a one-of-a-kind. It's on there. And then Laura, did Morgan arrange the colors? Yes, she did. I know, she did a great job. Too bad she can't come with me to yarn festivals. I think she hangs it better than I do. So anyway, yeah. Also, I know I've shown you all this book before, but there's some Christmas socks in here too. Actually, there's a couple, but this is one that I was looking at, the holly and the ivy, which I think those are actually little tiny baubles on there. Do y'all see that? So there's that one. And then there's another one, a snowflake pattern, which I don't see it right now. So, oh, there it is. There it is. Christmas Eve skies pattern right there. So I wouldn't mind doing that one too. I don't know. I wouldn't mind doing one of those for Christmas. And then the Swan Lake socks are in here too. You know, I got to make those. And the coffee socks, coffee break. That's another one I want to do. Oh, so many socks. So many socks I want to make. All for me. I think Bo asked earlier, did I gyp him from out of a pair of socks? Yes. Don't you remember, dear, the Boom socks that I had knit for you? And they didn't fit. They were too tight. Stripe Hype is a good, thick stripe sweater. Okay, I'm going to check that out. Because I need something like that for Christmas. My Christmas and even my Halloween idea. But I don't know if my Halloween idea, I might need to make it like a summer shirt, because for us, not August, do you? Hang on. I can't write and think and talk at the same time. October is still a warm month for us. So yeah, I might need to make it just like this. I've shown you all this. This is my broom. It doesn't look like the broom sweater at all, because I took out a lot of ease. I made it short sleeved, and I reduced the neckline big time. So it doesn't even look like the broom, but this is basically the broom sweater pattern. And yeah. Oh, it's a DK pattern. Even better. That means I could use fluffy DK. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with fluffy DK. I just am. I love the way that it feels. And, I was showing, I think I've told you all this. I was showing a lot of people, you can use a larger needle, and you get, even though like this isn't see-through at all, it really, the halo really fills in the stitches, but this is a very nice lightweight top, even for Florida summer. And now that I'm not saving it for a show, I'll use it at another show, but I've got plenty of time to get it blocked and washed again before another festival. So that's why I grabbed it today and wore it. But it's just, it's super lightweight. But then when you look at the Rocket DK that Laura made, she's a size 4 needle. And so it's much heavier, obviously warmer. And I don't know. I just love it. It's comfortable. It's one of the shirts. Sometimes when you wear knits, even if it's a nice yarn, then you're always aware that you're wearing a knit. And this isn't like that for me. So maybe that's why I just love it. Oh, that reminds me, by the way, do y'all remember me talking a couple weeks ago when I came back from Southern Comforts about the 20% Stellina yarn? I have ordered some. So I'm so excited to get that. It's a superwash Shanico blend with 20% Stellina. So 80% superwash Shanico, which I don't know. That's actually kind of new for me, but it's a sheep breed. It's 100%. The Shanico fiber comes from the United States, if that's important to you. And so it's processed here, and they put it into their yarn. And when I felt it at Southern Comforts, it is super soft. So it's a blend. The sheep breed is apparently they breed merino with Rambouillet. And y'all know I'm heavy on superwash merino, because merino is king in my book in terms of just all around knitting and stuff like that. I know spinners are different, but I think that has to do with the process of spinning. That's just my thinking. But when it comes to knitting and the yarn and stuff, I have always just been a big merino all the way. However, this Shanico blend it was good. I love 20% Stellina, but you could not get me with just the 20% Stellina. I do love sparkle, but just that by itself would not be enough to sway me. But y'all, this Shanico is like, I thought it was merino when I felt it. I was like, ooh, but it wasn't. So anyway, yeah. Oh, yeah, that was interesting. I totally forgot about that. Y'all, in Pennsylvania, they don't charge sales tax on yarn. I have never. I love this. I love it. I might have to move to Pennsylvania. I don't know. I mean, I just think that's fabulous, especially since we turn it into knit garments and things like that, right? So, yeah, we didn't even know that until we got there and we were I was having issues with my Shopify point of sale. It wasn't charging sales tax. And I think that's why. I think because Shopify knows that internally. And but Bo mentioned it to the festival. Was it the organizer or one of the volunteers? And they were like, "Oh, you don't charge sales tax on yarn in Pennsylvania." I was, I love it. I love that. I just love that. That's awesome. Okay. Were we speaking of money? Oh, no tariffs. Well, yeah. Hey, I mean, all the benefits, right? Um, so yeah. Okay. What else? Okay. Some things have come up. Um, so next month, the end of next month, it is September 27th and 28th. Bo and I, Bo's coming. He's got to come because it's another 2-day drive up and back. We will be at the Shenandoah Valley Fiber Festival, which is up in Berryville, Virginia. I am super excited. You know, the weather has got to be nicer, right? It's got to be. I'm holding out. And then in October, Saturday, October 18th, is the first annual, I think it's going to be an annual thing, we're hoping, Falling into Fiber vendor market at the Beachside Hotel and Suites over in Cocoa. So if you're local, mark your calendars. It will be open to the public from 12 to 5. And then if you're coming to their retreat, you can find information on the retreat. I think there's still openings, but you can find information on the retreat either on the She Sells Yarn website, or I'm pretty sure also on Knit and Stitch Boutique's website. So there's a retreat over there that weekend. And then if you just want to come to the marketplace, it'll be open between 12 and 5. I'm supposed to be doing a sock link dye experience class. So if you're interested in that and you want to come do it again, or have never had a chance to do it, then by all means, you can sign up. I don't know that you can sign up for it yet. I know Helen has talked about it, but I don't think they've made the listing yet. So as soon as I see a link for that, I'll post it and let y'all know about it. And then in November, you all know about this one. Mid-November, I'll be at the Alabama Fiber Festival. So I'm excited about that. And this just in, I will be going to Nash Yarn Fest again. So I'm super excited about that. I love, it's funny, every festival has a different flavor. And I like them all for different reasons. You've got some like what I would call a little more showy, like Nash Yarn Fest. You got the backing of MDK, all that stuff. And then you've got some of these more, I don't know, what would you call them, crunchy festivals? Where you've got you've got actual animals and sheep competitions and wool competitions and stuff like that, and more outdoorsy and stuff. Whatever, and I like them all, small, big. I think it's cool to see some of the differences, and even with some of the vendors looking at the different offerings that people have. I was reminded again, there are some vendors yarn dyers who they only do the festival circuit. They might have websites, but they don't really push. And as a result, they don't really dye up a lot of new colorways. They'll change them out every once in a while, but they kind of have a standard set of colorways that they offer. And then they just dye those up and take them to the festivals and do well. I like what I have. I enjoy being at home and but also getting out. And then I really like dyeing up new colorways because I get to be creative and then dye for the different holidays and stuff like that. Also, before I forget, a couple of people in the Dyeing to Knit group have asked, when is the fourth quarter Dyeing to Knit coming out? So for those of you, if you're not familiar with Dyeing to Knit is a 3-month subscription that we kind of start a new theme. Well, we do start a new theme every January, and you can get into it anytime during the year as long as it's at the start of one of the 3-month cycles. But what I typically do is have an overarching theme starting in January going through September, and then every 3 months is kind of a sub theme under that big umbrella. So like this year has been called Retro Rewind. So we've been doing kind of some retro things. And so this next month, September, ends that. So, and if you do all 9 months, then you get an extra goodie, obviously some yarn that I dye up. And they're all mystery colorways. So you kind of might get an idea of what my inspiration is by the picture that I usually post, but not always. In fact, it was funny because I was told that there needs to be some red in next month's colorway because I haven't done red. I know it's hard to believe red is my favorite color. How come there hasn't been as much red? But there hasn't. So I've been warned. I better put some red in next month's colorway. But so then, so that still leaves October, November, and December that are left. So what I've started doing, and I really like this idea because October, November, and December each have a pretty big holiday, and it's my favorite time of year. And they're pretty much my favorite holidays, especially Christmas and Thanksgiving. Halloween, probably just because it's in fall. Fall's my favorite time of year. I get to enjoy it more, or did get to enjoy it more when I lived up north when I was younger. But for right now, I just, I think about it. So anyway, because of that, I kind of like to pick, those holidays all have movies that come out, around those holidays. So you can find any number of Halloween movies. Thanksgiving's a little trickier. A lot of them might be associated with Christmas, but there are Thanksgiving movies out there. And then, of course, Christmas. There's no shortage of Christmas movies ever. So I like to do, and we're going to do that this year, a 3-month subscription where each month it will be a movie that will be the theme or the inspiration of the mystery colorway. So, and if you haven't done it before, we do it. When you sign up, you get put into a private Facebook group, and then that's where I actually do dye up the colorway. It's usually the second Thursday of every month, unless I'm out of town, then we'll switch it to a different Thursday. But we do it in the evening, and I dye up the mystery colorway and then get them shipped out for you. We have a good time. So if you're interested in that, that will be coming out in about 2 weeks. I'll have that. So Deb says fleece. Do you mean the Shanico? Yeah, they have some of that too. I can't wait to spin it, actually. So interesting. Yes, the Hershey's Kisses were kind of a surprise. So that was one of the things we did was some right, that was for the candies, right? Because Hershey's have been around for so long. And actually, I think I chose 3 candies. I'm just going to be honest here. I think I chose 3 candies and I was like, that would make a great colorway. And I loved the Hershey's Kiss because you had the silver and the blue. I know I threw you off because you were expecting some sort of brown. No. Mm-mm. Nope. Not. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you the movies yet. I've got the Christmas movie picked out. Oh, actually, I have the Halloween movie picked out too. And I think I wrote down the idea that I need to watch the movie for Thanksgiving just to make sure I like it. Anyway, but I'll let you know in 2 weeks what those are going to be. All right. I think that's all I have. So thank you, Tish, for reminding me of that Monday is a holiday. So I have some shipping to do. If you've ordered special orders, most of them are ready to go. If not, then they will be by early next week. Same with if you ordered coordinating cousins. Those would already be done, but since we were out of town, it's taken a little bit longer, but they're almost done. They're so close. And so those will ship out by Tuesday as well. So yeah, or on Tuesday, I should on Tuesday. So I think that's it. All right. Well, I hope y'all have a good weekend. Some of y'all are having cooler weather, which I love. Get your knitting and crocheting in. And if you need me, you know how to reach me. I'm just an email away. So yeah, take care of yourselves. And I missed y'all last week. Did I tell you that? I did. I was like, I missed them. So yeah, but I'll be back here next week, the same time. And yeah, take care of yourselves in the meantime and have a great weekend. All right. Bye, everybody.